Hey Mary!
Hello!
So, what are we doing today?
Today we're going to get excited about starting seeds indoors because it is the new season and I want to start planting early this year. Awesome. And I'm hoping to help all of you plant a little bit early too. We have got our seeds coming in for 2012. In fact, we've already got a lot of seeds here now. So you can come and start picking out some of your seed materials and things for starting seeds.
Do you have some favorites this year?
Well, one of the things I think that is great to grow, and especially start early, are the carrots and the broccoli and the kohlrabi and the cabbages and Brussels sprouts. Starting all those early, and peppers. I love peppers. Yeah. And so I'm going to be starting peppers a little bit earlier this year so I can have bigger plants to be able to plant out.
Okay. And
seed tape. People that have ever planted before things like lettuces and carrots know how tiny the seeds are. And in the burpee rack, you can buy seed that's actually been incorporated into biodegradable tape. It's very green to use this practice, and that way you can cut it to length. Say if you've got a 4-foot by 8-foot raised bed, Lela, you could cut 4-foot sections or even cut it up into 2-foot sections and then just store the rest of it. But seed tape is a great way to go.
I bet that's a great way to get kids to help in the garden too.
It's fun for kids because they can take that paper and they can plant that seed, and lo and behold, they've got good veggies that they love to eat because they help to grow them.
Awesome. So what do we need to do to get started?
I think one of the best things to do to get started is start by thinking about taking some notes while you're doing this, because you're going to make some good mistakes, you're going to make some bad mistakes, but then you can learn from all of those. So you want to first again keep some notes and come and get some supplies. We have a lot of things that you can pick from, and a number of good ways to start seed is to either start it in a pot that's filled with soil or with our planting strips. These are biodegradable, very environmentally friendly. These planting strips are made from recycled coconut shells. So it's something, instead of using peat moss, we recommend using this. And you can put your soil right in here, or you can sprout your seeds and then transplant your plants into these strips, because then these can be broken apart, planted right out into the garden.
Okay.
And we have lots of growing trays, and you can poke holes in it if you want to put soil and let the water drain through, or we like to actually leave them with no holes so that they're going to capture the water and keep the furniture from getting too wet.
And the pots fit inside of it?
The pots will fit right inside of this.
Okay.
But probably one of the more important things to think about for starting seeds indoors is a good quality seed starting soil. And this is an organic seed starting mix here, where I want to take this and I am going to mix it in my tub. I'm going to take a big tub and put that soil in the tub, and then I'm going to mix a good organic starter fertilizer in with that, blend it all together. And then once I've got this blend, I can put it into my pots, I can put it into my tray or my seed starting strips. And once I've done this too, I want to mark, we've got a lot of different types of labels that you can use. These are little wooden plant labels. They come, this type actually comes with a pencil that you can use for marking the varieties. And the colored plant labels are really nice because that may help you keep, say, separate planting dates more organized. And that's what I would do on this too, is I would put the planting date, because you may find, for instance, if you start, say, squash this month, it's not going to hold all the way through May for you to plant it. So now we're going to start keeping track of, okay, maybe we should have started that one later in April. But this is these are some good tools that you can use. When we're going to be planting our pots with the soil, we want to place our soil into our planting medium or our pot, and we want to only fill it halfway full of soil. And the reason why is then we're going to take a good bottle that we can pump up like this. We have this style, or we have another type, the trigger nozzle, either one. And once we get our soil halfway full, we're going to mist it. And that, instead of making it too waterlogged, because the young plants have a hard time with too much water in the soil. So we're going to mist it, and then we're going to fill this pot up with starter soil for seeds the rest of the way, and then mist the top. one of the keys when you're seeding is look on the back of the package, and it's going to tell you how deep to put it. It's also going to tell you probably how early you can start it, any kind of sowing tips. So in the case of seed that's carrot seed, you're only going to cover the seed with 1/8 inch of fine soil. And what I find is after I put the seed on top, I'll take soil in my hands and literally just sift it, just lightly on top. And then you can tamp it so that we have a good contact, and then mist it again.
Okay.
Once we get our soil in there and we've misted it, then we like to put it into an environment that is a little bit more like a greenhouse. Again, we're going to have this inside of our home, so putting it in trays that would capture the water to save the furniture would be a great way. Maybe you can make a bench or something. And then you've always seen, I think many of you have seen out the small little clear domes that you would put over the starting trees. Well, the better ones are the tall domes.
Okay.
This is now going to create more like a real true greenhouse environment. And these even come, Lela, with a little grid that you can pull back and forth and let more air inside.
Okay.
So now we've got our seeds in our soil, this in our window. Oh, by the way, the window.
Yes, I was just going to ask you about that, because I've always heard that you want to give it light, but probably not direct light.
Not direct sunlight. It's going to get, for one thing, if direct sunlight went through here, it would get too warm in here. You want a real bright room, real bright light, but not direct sunlight.
Okay.
Also, you can start with fluorescent fixtures, and you want to usually get those really close, right down on top of the flats, within 6 inches. And the warmth from that light also helps the plants. And speaking of warmth, some of the things that are going to be still coming in are seed starting mats. And what the mat is, it warms the trays or the pots that you've got your plants starting in. It warms the soil. So even though the top temperature might not be as warm as the soil, it'll get them to germinate much quicker.
Okay.
And we've got some young gardeners here running around. They're having a good time. And that's great. We love young gardeners. Kids Club, we do a lot of planting.
Okay, so you talked about a garden journal.
Yes.
We keep one at home when we're doing our gardening.
Yes.
And so I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the garden journal.
Well, what I like to do with the garden journal is I'll plan out the season. I might even make some tabs that'll give me the different months. And then I'll go through and I'll buy all the seeds that I'm going to start for the year. You know, look at the back of every packet, and I'll get a feel for how long it's going to take me to get this started before I can plant it outside. And you can find a lot of information online right now. And again, I said we had our Seed Starting 101. There's a lot of information there. But with our journal, I'm going to keep good track of what I planted out and when. And then my successes or my failures. But I've always wanted to know my successes too, because maybe I'll grow more of that the following year. And you want to look for seed that's fresh. If you've got seed that left over from the years before, you may want to pre-germinate it to see if it's any good anymore. And with that, what you do is you put some into some damp paper towels and close them up and put them in a warm spot. And after a number of days, look to see how many have sprouted. And if 50% of them have sprouted, then just up your seeding by 50%. Because a lot of seeds will still be good over the years, but some viability goes down.
So after you've let them get to a certain amount of maturity, what's the next step?
The next step, well, when we're starting our seeds like this, say in a pot such as this, and we've got our little seedlings, but a number of them, then I'm going to want to transplant them out of this pot into a bigger container. These cells are bigger. We even have larger pots, more like this size.
Okay.
And so we're going to be transplanting up.
Okay.
So that our plants can have a good root start before they're going outside.
And those pots that you've got there are biodegradable.
All of these pots that are more or less like a organic fiber, you can tell they are. You can tell it looks like a coconut shell. It actually does. And yeah, those will all biodegrade. You can plant these right in the ground.
Awesome.
We also, because we're trying to bring together some success and kits here, I know that Lela knows about our success kits that we did at Christmas time. were a huge hit. People were able to pick up a kit of, say, seed starting things for a gift. But we're going to keep going forward with this idea, and we're going to put together seed starting success kits and all sorts, fruit tree success kits, raspberry, whatever. We're going to create a lot of different, say, you know, you plug this one, and this one together, and you're going to have success for growing vegetables. We're going to try to take a lot of the thinking out of that for you.
And we'll take a look at that, what makes up the seed starting success kit,
yes,
a little bit later.
All right. So now we've got our seeds started. We've got them labeled. We've got them in good soil. We're going to go plant them outside. Any other questions you have, Lela? Are you ready to get started growing?
I'm ready to start playing in the garden.
All right, me too. Let's go play.
All right.